everyone, this is Lisa from Happytohook Creations, and it is Tuesday morning, May 21st, 2019. And since it is the 21st, I know we still have 10 days left till I announce the next movie for our classic movie cal. I wanted to get on here and give you some movie facts on The Wizard of Oz, which is our current classic movie for our cal. I'll probably be drinking some tea. I've got this icky. It is very overcast right now. I'm trying to take advantage of the natural lighting, but we're under a thunderstorm warning, so we'll see how this goes. Okay, I think I have 10, like I usually do. I want to make sure I try to do at least 10. They had a ton for The Wizard of Oz, you guys. I might, if I remember, I'll put some of the links below. There's one website that has over 80 facts from the movie. And so I just kind of narrowed it down. But there are a ton. And I don't want to be talking to you guys for like an hour or more. Although I really don't mind. But anyway. Okay, so The Wizard of Oz was written by L. Frank Baum. And one quick note, it's not part of a fact thing, it's just a note, that he came up with the name Dorothy because his wife's niece, Dorothy, had passed away in infancy. And she was very distraught at her death. And so while he was, writing the book and everything, he changed. I don't know if he had a name picked out, but the main character's name was Dorothy, out of a memorial and respect for her little niece, baby niece that she lost. I don't think she even reached the age of 1. I think she died before her first birthday. So, but that's how he came up with the name Dorothy. Okay, so fact number 1. The shoes in the book, well, there's a lot of things in the book. If you haven't read the book, it's I can't even go through them all because the book and the movie are very, very different. So if you ever have the opportunity to read it, you definitely need to read the book. But the shoes in the book are silver. And the reason they changed them to red was because the movie goes into Technicolor and red showed up better. So they changed them from silver slippers to ruby slippers. I thought that was kind of cool. Excuse me. Number 2. And this was interesting for me. So Victor Fleming was one of the directors on The Wizard of Oz. He has been credited as the director, but they actually had 4. They had 4 directors for that movie. The first one was Richard Thorpe, and he was fired after 2 weeks. Then there was George Cukor, who left directing Wizard of Oz to go direct Gone with the Wind. Then Victor Fleming came in after George Cukor, and he also left to go to to Gone with the Wind. And then finally, the last and the fourth and final one was King Vidor. It's Vidor. I probably said that wrong, but he was the one that actually finished the film. But so they had 4. And another interesting thing about the fact that George Cukor and Victor Fleming left to go to Gone with the Wind, both movies that they directed, Gone with the Wind and The Wizard of Oz, were up for Best Picture of the Year for 1939. We all know who won Gone with the Wind. Yeah, totally crazy, but that's how things work. Number 3, Ray... Sorry, excuse me. Ray Bolger was first cast as the Tin Man. He didn't want to be the Tin Man because he figured because he was slim and he liked to dance and he was real flexible that he would serve a better purpose being the Scarecrow. So he asked Buddy Ebsen and of course the director and if they could switch roles. So the role of the Tin Man had originally gone to Buddy Ebsen, or was switched to Buddy Ebsen from the Scarecrow, and the Scarecrow went to Ray Bolger. Well, they put the makeup, and at that time, that makeup was made out of aluminum. It was an aluminum powder, And Buddy Epson had such a horrible, severe reaction that it took him like weeks and weeks to recover. So they couldn't wait for him to get better. They were on, of course, a deadline, and if they stopped the production of this film, it would have cost them even more money. And at that time, Gone with the Wind. See, I got Gone with the Wind on the brain. But at the time, Wizard of Oz was, I think they spent like $2.7 million making this movie, and they just couldn't afford to make any more money or lose any more money on it. So Buddy Epson was out because of his reactions to the aluminum, and they brought in Jack Haley, and he ended up being the Tin Man. So I mean, you can't imagine anybody else being that, right? It's just him because he did such a good job. But yeah, Buddy Epson was very allergic. But then he had that really great show. What was it called? Barnaby Jones. He was awesome. Excuse me. Let me take a sip here. All right. Now we're on 4. Margaret Hamilton, who played, well, 2 people. She played the Wicked Witch of the West, and she played Mino Elmira Gulch. And I don't think a lot of people know this, but she used to be a school teacher. Before she was an actress, she taught kindergarten. Can you imagine? She taught kindergarten. So you just never know. Now, when she did become, when she got the part, her makeup that she used, the green makeup, was very flammable. So when they did the exit scene, when she leaves Munchkinland, she ended up suffering 2nd and 3rd degree burns because the spark, it set her on fire. I mean, it was like an instant thing. And yeah, it was very, very difficult for her to even come back because it was just such a frightening experience for her. And it took her, weeks to recover. But she came back. That woman was a trooper, let me tell you. Let's see. That was fact number 4. I got to switch here. So we're on number 5. The original Dorothy, if you've read the book, is a small child. Now, when I say small child, if I had to guess, I don't know if they say how old she is in the movie or in the book, but maybe like 8, 9 years old. Maybe. Well, they wanted to glamorize Dorothy. So their original thought was to put a blonde wig on Judy Garland and give her heavy makeup to just make her look like a glamorized Hollywood kind of, and it just didn't work. It did not work at all because it didn't go with, the character. So they did away with all that, and she was 16 at the time that the movie was made. So once they took the wig and everything off, they made her wear this really tight-fitting corset to keep her from, her shape. They wanted to kind of it went all the way down. It went from her breasts down to her hips to kind of box her a little bit and push her breasts back so she didn't look so much older and so curvy. And she said it was extremely uncomfortable and sometimes quite painful for her to wear them because she'd be in it for hours at a time while she was filming. So yeah, there's that. Now, I'm trying to think where I'm at. Number 6. Number 6. So back to Margaret Hamilton. I don't know why I didn't make this like 5, but Margaret Hamilton played such a good part as the Wicked Witch of the West. She was too scary. So they cut out a lot of her scenes because when they do the preview, the children were deathly afraid of her. I mean, she was really good. So they cut it down to the bare minimum, and they even had to do a couple of retakes to kind of tone down her scariness in order for it to be acceptable and not, because they just, they don't want to frighten the kids. So, yeah, I thought that was interesting, too. So, she really got into character, but it ended up being cut anyway because they didn't want to use it. Number 7, and this is just a rumor. I still have yet to know if it's true or not because every channel or every website that I looked at, you know, said pretty much the same thing, but they didn't sound like they were 100%. So one of the major rumors that caused some of the conflict was that the Munchkins were paid anywhere from $50 to $75 a week on the set, and Toto, the dog, made $125 a week. They didn't like that. So if that was true, wow. And do you know the dog beat out 100 dogs to play Toto? There was 100 dogs that tried out to be Toto, and this dog won. And I know Toto, I can't remember the actual name of the dog, but the dog was a girl. She was playing a boy, but she was a girl dog. And Judy Garland just totally fell in love with her and wanted to adopt her, but the owner would not let her go. She said, "Nope, my dog, you're not going to have her." So, but she really, really liked the dog. All right, number 8. This one was like, whoa, really? Okay, so when Victor Fleming was directing The Wizard of Oz, when the lion, played by Burt Lauer, when he comes out and introduced, when you first meet him, like the big scene where he gets smacked on the nose, Judy Garland kept giggling, and they had to do retake after retake. Finally, Victor Fleming had had enough. He was, you know, they're trying to get this shot. He walks up to her and he says, "You know what? I don't have time for games." And he slapped her in the face and told her to stop laughing and do the scene. And she went back and did the scene without laughing. But he had to slap her first. I thought that was interesting. Very, very interesting. Number 9, the lion's costume that was worn by Burt Lauer, who played the Cowardly Lion, obviously, was made out of real lion pelt. So it weighed over 60 pounds. And when he was done, he was in it, you know, for hours at a time. Took 2 hours to put him in the makeup. And then he takes it out. They had to get attendants to come and air it out because it would get really smelly and sweaty and gross because he had to wear it for so long and it was so heavy and so hot. So, yeah. So every night that he would get out of there, they would have somebody dry it out, air it out, and make sure it was nice and, you know, fresh for him for the next day of shooting. Number 10, and this, I have more than 10, you know me. I've got a few bonuses. But number 10, the poppy seed, or the poppy flower, the field, took 22 men 1 week to make all of those. They were all fake. 40,000 poppies. 40,000 were made by 22 men, and it took them a week. I thought that was pretty cool. And this is our bonus. So the bonus number 1. When it started snowing to wake them up, that was actually asbestos flakes. Who knew? You know, it's 1939. They didn't know that stuff could kill you. But yeah, that's what the flakes were made out of. Whoops, I just dropped my bucket. Just moving all over. And my other bonus, and it's just like a bonus info. And it kind of made me sad because Judy Garland, you know, if you ever have a chance to check online or any autobiographies, and not just all of them, there's a few out there that, you know, kind of show her in a bad light. And she was a very troubled person. She didn't have a good childhood. And she was like 13 when she was signed on to MGM. And they immediately started giving her pills. They called them pep pills to help her lose weight. And then they would give her pills to help her sleep because she had always had trouble sleeping. So her and Deanna Durbin, she was another young actress. They were together a lot. I mean, I think I'm pretty sure she went to school with like Mickey Rooney and Elizabeth Taylor. She went to school with some really great actors and actresses. But her and Deanna especially were given, you know, pills to kind of keep their weight down, pills to help them sleep. And you know, those things have, I mean, think about it. You're given this pill when you're 13 years old and you're being told that you're too chubby. And you're 13. I mean, to me, that's like baby fat. You don't start losing that stuff till you become, you know, 13, 14, 15 years old and you get more active or, you know, or whatever. So in some of the quotes that I was reading from Judy Garland, she said that she never considered herself Hollywood glamour. She always thought that she was the ugly duckling because she wasn't as pretty as all the other actresses were. You know, she felt that she just didn't belong. But she thought, and a lot of people told her, the one thing that kept her going was that, you know, it didn't matter how beautiful the other actresses were, not one of them could sing the way that Judy Garland could sing. I mean, and you have to acknowledge that that woman had a powerful voice. I mean, she was just amazing. There's a clip online. If I find it, I will put it in the comments below. But there's a clip where she is singing. Oh, man, who's she singing to? Cary Grant, maybe? I'm not sure. I'm not sure of the actor, but she was like 12. And she sounded absolutely amazing. I mean, the woman was born to sing because she had such a powerful voice even then. And it's just sad that they took such advantage of her. And she didn't know any better. I mean, you know, you're 13. You've got your family telling you, yeah, go ahead and do it because take that pill because you're going to get this great part and everything. And, you know, it just kind of makes you wonder, had Shirley Temple been allowed, because the rumor was that Shirley Temple was actually picked to play the part of Dorothy, not Judy Garland. They wanted Shirley Temple because she had brought her studio out of bankruptcy with her movies. Well, they either didn't want to lend her over, or Shirley's mom or parent. Anyway, it just makes me sad to think that she could have been so, I mean, she just could have been great. And, you know, and here she ends up dying in 1969 at the age of 47 of an accidental overdose. I just think what a waste, because she could have done so much more with her life. Yeah, it was just crazy. And one other thing, I don't know if I might have said it, but her song, Over the Rainbow, they cut it 3 times from the film because they thought the film was too long and it didn't really need it and kids weren't going to get it. And so they did not want it in there, but they decided to keep it in for the last time, 4th and final time. We'll just keep it in the movie. And I'm so glad they did. And although it didn't win Best Picture, it went to Gone with the Wind. It did win Best Original Song, Over the Rainbow. And I don't know about you, but when she sings it, oh, it's just such a beautiful song. And her voice, she just knew how to carry a song and perform a song so that you feel what she's feeling when she's singing it. That's kind of how I get from her, because I've seen her, you know, on TV, of course, but I've watched her sing that song several shows, several specials, and each time, even though the words and the music is the same, each time she sings it a little different. And you can tell that some of those times she was sad. And sometimes she was, you know, really upbeat and peppy, but you can definitely tell in her voice. If you have the time to go back and look, I'm telling you, you would be able to tell the difference in how she sings that song. And it was just beautiful. And, you know, it's her signature song. Over the Rainbow, you definitely will think of Judy Garland. So, well, that and her daughter Liza Minnelli. And she actually had 3 children. So yeah, those were some interesting facts. Now there was one other rumor that was going around that I have to address. Some part in the movie, I don't know if it's in the original, because you know the movie has been re-released so many times, like the 50th anniversary, 75th, and I think this year is the 80th. So, but there's some part in the movie where they say it looks like someone is hanging in the background. It's actually a bird. That's what they're saying. Now, I've looked, and I think our first copy, there is something there. There was definitely something there in the first copy that we had. I don't know what happened to that one, but I can't see it in the second one because I've got the 75th anniversary or 70th anniversary. But if you look, I believe it was the part where they're getting the apple off the tree because Dorothy is so hungry. I'm not 100%. I'll check on that, but I do know that there's certain things that were going on with the film that people were starting to think it was haunted, but because they would see things and people would totally misconstrue what it was. They were like, oh, that's what, and they were like, no, it's just a rumor. That's not what that was at all. And so they say it's a bird. What do you think? If you see it, if you can see it in your movie, put a comment below and let me know what you think. Because I'm just really curious. Because, people could say things to kind of make it seem like it's one thing when it really is something else. I don't know. And, yeah. So you have to kind of see it for yourself, I guess. Anyway, 10 more days till we know what the new movie is. And I had one thing going, and then I've geared towards something else. And I'll explain that in 10 days. So, you guys have a wonderful day today. Got another video to put out, so I'm going to get that one done. And, yeah, keep seeing those pictures. Keep. And if you are watching this for the first time and you do not know what a CAL is, it stands for Crochet Along. And what I'm doing is I am giving a classic movie with the poster, and you just make an item with those colors in it. It can be a blanket, a cowl, a hat, whatever pops up in your mind that you can crochet. And the only thing is that you just use whatever colors that are on that poster. Now, if you are not a member of our Facebook page, it's Happytohook Creations chat. Please come on over. We would love to have you, and it's never too late to start this cowl because it goes year long. Every month I give you the movie, and then midway through, or in this case a little bit later, I also tell you fun facts about the movie and some or all of the cast members. So please come and join us if you have not. I just keep getting subscribers. We are up to 2,461 at last count. I cannot thank you enough for that. Please continue to share me. Hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button and that bell, because that will give you notification whenever I put another video out. And come and join me. Just come and join me. Every single time there's a video out, there's always something I put out there. It's crochet. I have bought needles for knitting. I'm not sure when that's going to start. That's a whole nother thing. I'm trying to keep it separate. But yeah, we will see how that goes eventually. And if you watched my last video, you know that we have new members of the household. So my time is limited, but I love it. I'm having a great time. It's really nice. It really is. I haven't had a little one in the house in such a long time. It's kind of nice because they just want to snuggle. They just want to snuggle. They love it, and they just want to feel safe, and it's kind of nice. I love it. It's just nice. So I'm just gonna soak it up and soak it up and soak it up, and hope and pray that they get to go home soon, because that is the end result. That's what we want. And yeah, on that note, you guys have a great day, because you know me, I could talk about it forever. Happy hooking, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. All my new subscribers and all the ones who have been with me from the beginning. You guys have a fabulous day. Love ya. Bye.